Just make sure we're good to go live.
And let me adjust my hair.
Yeah, you adjust the hair. QA, I guess. Howdy, folks. It's Justin Mason and Blue Knight here. This is the very first ever, and the South Florida Bluegrass Association has been together for nearly 50 years, folks, and they've been doing monthly festivals down in first it was out in Rose Station and the Swamp, and most recently at Grand Park in North Miami Beach. But since we can't gather in parks in groups of more than 10, we figured South Florida Bluegrass Association and the brand new board came up with the idea of doing an online virtual festival. So to keep the tradition going, we're having the April monthly festival online and virtual festival. And the boys and I will be kicking off the very first ever virtual festival for the South Florida Bluegrass Association. I'm Justin. That over there on your far left is Clarence Canada, Lester Canada on the banjo, James Vickers on the bass. And we're going to kick off a little bluegrass music for you. A song called South on 95.
Well, long ago I made a choice to climb behind the wheel. I can't explain how it takes you, it makes you feel. Out on the open highway, not a thing to tie you down. Until the whole brings you back around. Rolling along, singing a song, getting back to the place that I missed so long. Every man needs a place where he can find. I just went out and home, South on 95. Sing the mountains in the springtime and the deserts in the fall. Then railroads and rivers up across the fall. I dug deep underground and I sailed all around the sea. There's only ever been one place that feels like home to me. Rolling along, singing a song, heading back to the place that I missed so long. Every man needs a place where he can find. That's when I hear home, South of 95. Well, times are changing, but that don't bother me. Out on the open highways where I'm gonna be. There come a day when the wheels will turn. One more time we'll hear the people knock on the door. Rolling along, singing a song, getting back to the place that I missed so long. Every man needs a place where he can find. I just went on heading home, South on 95. Take us home.
Howdy, folks. Again, we're Justin Mason and Blue Knight. Hopefully you enjoy our part of the show here. We're going to be playing till just about 2 o'clock, maybe a little bit farther than 2 o'clock, and then some other great bands are going to come on and pick for you. This next song right here is one of my favorites that this man here does. The guy playing the bass today is Mr. James Vickers, multi-instrumentalist, sings all the vocal parts. He makes me want to put my guitar away every day, folks, and just leave it in the case. He does a great job singing this song. I like old school kind of country sounding songs. I think this is a fun time. Song called Hello Trouble.
window, what's that I see? Coming up the sidewalk, just a plain state. Well, there comes trouble and everyone sees which way to play. Hello, come on in. Now you talk about heartaches, but won't it be? Ain't had no misery since you've been gone. So hello, trouble, 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 welcome home. Live on a party, rest your shoes. We can tell me those sweet lies and all the sin. It's just a little part of the life we live. But I'd rather have you gone than never know your love again. Hello, come on in. Now you talk about heartaches, where the world has been. Ain't had no misery since you've been gone. So hello, trouble, 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 welcome home. Hello, come on in. Now you talk about heartache, where it been? Ain't had no misery since you've been gone. So hello, trouble, 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 welcome home. Yeah, hello, trouble, 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 welcome home.
That's just
Great
like we
job.
rehearsed it.
Let me center this because I know my wife's probably watching, and these kind of things will drive her crazy. So, honey, if you're watching, I centered all this stuff just for you.
Thank you.
Grab your fiddle. I will.
Yeah.
Those of you guys who I think I've went too far, but whatever. Yeah, those of you guys who are used to me playing with Alligator Alley, I still play with Alligator Alley down in South Florida. Still make the 3.5-hour drive back and forth to practice when we're allowed to practice. This band right here, almost 3 years ago now, I moved up to Central Florida and live in the Orlando area, and ran into these guys each individually at a jam session up here, the Ocoee parking lot jam on Friday nights with James and Sir Toma with you and with Lacucci with you. So it's been all downhill in their life since then. But it's been a nice thing to do up here in Central Florida. We've been playing. We got this band together about a year ago, and we played some really cool places across the state. We've had a lot of fun. We played down in Penny Lane Emporium down in Fort Lauderdale. That was a blast.
Yep.
We've gotten to go up to the North Florida Bluegrass Association and play their festival, their kind of showcase expo up at Twin Oaks in Hoboken, Georgia. We've gotten to go down and play in Isla Mirada and Baygrass, and the Summer String Summit. So again, this is Justin Mason and Blue Knight. Hopefully enjoy some of the stuff we're doing for you today. It's nice to be able to pick with all these guys who play all these different instruments when me and Clarence just stand here and look pretty. You know what I mean?
Good. Someone's got to do it.
Anyway, we're going to do a song for you called Cherokee Shuffle. We're going to enjoy it.
One time,
Turkey show. That was fun. Let the man get the banjo player back in his normal, natural state and form, and we'll do another traditional bluegrass song for you. Song called "Take This Hammer."
Take this hammer, catch it, catch. Take this hammer, catch it, catch. Take this hammer, catch it, captain. Tell him I'm gone. Tell him I'm gone. If they ask you, was I running? If they ask you, was I running? If they ask you, was I running? Tell them I was flying. Tell them I was flying. Take this hammer, catch it, captain. Take this hammer, catch it, captain. Take this hammer, catch it, captain. Tell them I'm gone. I don't want you, cold iron shackles. I don't want you, cold iron shackles. I don't want you, cold iron shackles. Hurt my legs, hurt my legs. Take this hammer and catch it, captain. Take this hammer and catch it, captain. Take this hammer, catch it, captain. Tell him I'm gone. Tell him I'm gone. If they ask you, was I laughing? Let me ask you, was I laughing? Let me ask you, was I laughing? Tell him I was crying. Tell him I was crying. Take this hammer and catch it, captain. Take this hammer and catch it, captain. Take this hammer, catch it, captain. Tell him I'm gone. Tell him I'm gone. Tell him I'm gone. Tell him I'm gone.
What's up, guys? That was good. Hey, man. Hope you guys are enjoying our part of the show. Again, we're Justin Mason and Blue Knight. I planned on having a little sign there. My daughter made for me, but I happened to leave it at home. I brought everything else, it seemed like, but except that sign. So if you'd like to leave a tip, time's gotten so bad, I've lost all the hair on my head, and James has lost all the hair on his face. So we got to get some Rogaine going in this place. So paypal.me/JMABN. That's paypal.me/JMABN. We're coming to you live from Christmas, Florida. Those of you guys who know where that is, I'm proud of you. Those of you guys who don't Google it. A bunch of weird stuff will come up you don't want to see. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed our part of the show. South Florida Bluegrass Association.org for the South Florida Bluegrass Association's monthly virtual festival.
Hey.
Since we're talking about South Florida Bluegrass, those of you guys who know me down there know I was born and raised in the South Florida Bluegrass Association. Got to watch my grandfather and father play in a great bluegrass band back in the 70s and 80s and 90s and 2000s. Crossroads Bluegrass, and I look up to my father and looked up to my grandfather, and this is a song I wrote about him a while back. Hopefully you enjoy our version, a song called Grandpa's Guitar.
I remember
we made it ring. People come around just to hear him sing songs that he learned as a boy, and they always fill me with joy. Well, Grandma, she's smiling, brave and glad, and her toes would tap as the hours pass. They sing those songs the way things used to be back in his hometown of Tennessee. Every note he played was a picture set to time, bringing back the good old days so gentle on my mind. Holding this old Martin box with all our nicks and scars, it's just me and Grandpa's guitar. Well, a perfect man he never really was. He would pick a fight with you just because, and he would pick her up, he would bend to play. Then his troubles slip away. But Grandpa, he's long passed away. But I feel like I can hear him here today. Somewhere way back in the song. And if you ask me, boys, that's where he belongs. Every note he played was a picture set to time, bringing back the good old days so gentle on my mind. Holding this old Martin box with all our nicks and scars, it's just me and Grandpa's guitar. Yeah, it's just me, Grandpa's guitar. Hey, that song called Grandpa's Guitar. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And again, that's about my grandfather, Mr. Jim Mason. Passed away back in 2004. And it's weird. Sometimes it's like it was just yesterday that him and Pat Hill and Karen Richardson and Mark Richardson were my father and Tim Capps and all those folks were playing Crossroads Bluegrass, and I was getting to watch them every weekend, and then it's today. So anyway, this gentleman right here next to me is going to do you an old classic bluegrass song called All the Way Back to the Old Home.
Is that in that chord right there?
Right there.
Right there,
Okay.
Back in the days of childhood, everything was good. I used to sit and listen to my dad in the old. I'm on my way back to the old home, and everyone's on up thinking where there's no light in the window. They shine from the ground. It seems much out of date. I had to leave my poor mother left all I'm on my way back to the old home. And mine's on up the hill where there's no light in window. The shines from the horizon. High in the hills of old Kentucky, standing on the spots of my memory. I'm on my way back to the old home. That light in the window I long to see. I'm on my way back to the old home. That old mine's on up the hill where there's no light in the window that shines from the horizon.
Oh, thank you very
That's
much.
James Vickers there on the way back to the old home. All
That's
right,
what
what's
the
going
old
up to the
Bilberoo
TV?
enthusiasts.
I touched my
Case you're
face.
Yeah, got that Ebola now, don't you? They got the COVID-27. You don't want that for real.
Oh, got interrupted.
Oh, there we go. We're back to live.
We're back to live. Broadcast interruption.
Again, folks, thank you for being here. This is South Florida Bluegrass Association's very first, and all the many, nearly 50 years they've been doing these monthly festivals. This is the very first virtual festival we've ever had to do here in South Florida Bluegrass, and we thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of it. We're Justin Mason and Blue Knight. We're going to be picking and singing for you and having a good time. These are some of my favorite people here, and I want to give a shout out to the other folks who can't be here, who've the band, Spider, Nico, Tom, I mean, just a bunch of amazing musicians and singers, and Bill Miller and
Adam
and
Mick.
Marie. Yeah, we've been fortunate to have some of our best friends and pickers, Cody on banjo and every other instrument. We want to say a special shout out to all those folks, and we wished all of them could be here and picking and singing for you. It'd be fun. You can just
big jam.
just one person walk off, and the next person come on here and pick and sing, and
But we'll do that on the next one.
yeah, maybe we'll get the folks together. So I told the story about my grandfather, and that was the song I wrote for him a couple songs ago. And my grandmother was also a big part of South Florida Bluegrass Association. Those guys who were back before the 2000s probably knew her. She was almost always at the sales table every first Sunday and part of the board multiple times. And my living situation when I was much younger, my parents split up. And so I spent a lot of time in the house while my dad and grandfather were working. Before we got to go to school, was with my grandmother, and she'd teach us stuff and teach us how to make things. And it was always really a fun household. Even though we didn't have a lot of money growing up, it seemed like she always found something for us to do. It was funny because we'd like certain things for lunch, and she'd make us bologna and cheese roll-ups. You know, we'd get to come in the house and have some bologna and cheese roll-ups. And it's funny how you remember those little things years and years later. And I wrote this song for her, and hopefully you enjoy it. It's a song called Dorothy.
Well, Grandma never had a job, 'cause her family was her life. She worked so hard to make a home, make a wife. Well, Daddy had to work all day, so she watched the little one. Well, growing up, we had much, but she always there. Her love was soft, her life was hard, but it never got her down. Even though the darkest days ever saw her proud. There is nothing in this world looks as good to me, and the brightest smile in the world She always had a meal for us in something sweet. And sometimes she'd make us think how happy we would be. We always knew that we were loved and safe from home. When we were sad, we'd be there crying in the dark. Her love was soft, her life was hard, but it never got her down. Even on dark days, we never saw her around. There is nothing in this world looks as good to me. Not a smile in the world around her. When Grandma passed, I could say it truly broke my heart. I was just a boy of 10 years whose world fell apart. And it passed out up to the sky. I see the summer smiling face and you still feel alive. Love was soft, her life was hard, but it never got her down. Even on the darkest days, we never saw her frown. There is nothing in this world that looks as good as me. And the brightest smile in the world, my grandma.
That's my song, Dorothy. Hopefully you enjoyed that again. That was about my grandmother, Dorothy Mason, who, Dottie, a lot of folks knew her as Dottie. Again, lifetime member of the South Florida Bluegrass Association, one of the founding folks that kind of got that thing started. And again, I remember coming to the sales table as a kid, running around, and they're trying to keep us out of trouble. We'd be all over the place. And I remember her being there every first Sunday of the month. So let's get back to the classic bluegrass.
I bet it was hard for them to find you. All they had to do was look for the shadow.
Yes. I was much thinner then. Like we were talking about earlier, we've gotten to pick and sing with a bunch of real cool musicians in this band. We've been lucky enough really to get some of our friends and family to pick and sing with us. And a couple months back, Union Park Church, not too long ago, we got to pick with Mr. Mick Downing. And I've always done this song in a different key. Then I heard him do it in this key, in the key of E. And I was like, man, I'm going to have to steal that. I don't do it as nicely as Mick does, but hopefully enjoy our version of I Wonder Where You Are Tonight.
Tonight I've said the Lord is clear. Oh, if I'm alright, to think about though you left me. I wonder where you are tonight. That old rain is cold and slowly falling upon my window pane light. And though your love is getting colder, I wonder where you are. Your heart was closed, never loved me. Although you loved and said you can. And you went and found yourself another. Who knows love is true. And the rain is cold, slowly falling upon my window pane tonight. And though your love is even colder, I wonder where you are tonight. And dawn came, I tried to stop all night. And no pain within me that lingers in the heart. And old rain is going slowly falling upon my window pane tonight. And though your love is even colder, I wonder where you are tonight. Yes, I wonder where you are tonight.
That was spoken.
I just want to say a quick thank you and shout out to a couple folks. My brother a few months back joined the Navy, and he's on a aircraft carrier somewhere across the sea. Don't want to get into any information, just to keep him safe and sound. And so I want to say a special shout out to my brother. I'm super proud of him. Our whole family's really proud of him. He's out there serving his country, folks. And another young gentleman, Mr. Canada's son, is out there in the hardest hit place in the world, folks. He's in the most dangerous
Geisha, Italy, or something.
in Italy, yeah. So we want a special Lane and my brother Braden. And again, hopefully you guys are safe. About you back here, we talk about you all the time. So hopefully you're enjoying the craziness that is abroad, at least a little bit.
I know a lot of crazy broads.
You know a lot of crazy broads, huh? You had a few of them.
Yeah, I got a catalog.
Well, we'll transition from that to the Key of A, folks. And, growing up, it's funny. Growing up, my family's traditionally a Baptist family, and growing up throughout the years, South Florida Bluegrass Association had a lot of gigs and played a lot of stuff on Sundays. And it was funny. The first time I ever got my hands on all these bluegrass gospel songs, tell all these great stories from the Bible, and it really brings the stuff to life, I feel. And this is another one of those kind of songs. And it's funny. The first time I ever got my hands on the Bible and started reading it, I realized I knew about half the stories on there because all these bluegrass gospel songs that my grandfather and all these great folks. Charlie Hudson and everybody, Southern Bread and Corn Country and all these Palms Bluegrass, all these great South Florida Bluegrass bands throughout the years would play. And I think James does a great job on this song. And we're going to do a four harmony for you, a song called Prayer Bells from Heaven.
While we are living in this world of care, many the burdens that we have to bear. There's a prayer bell at the Lord's right hand. Give it a ring and people understand. Prayer bells from heaven, how sweetly they ring. Bearing their message of Jesus our King. When you are burdened down with troubles and care, lean on and on to God and answer your prayer. Leave your children in plain world. When he calls for it, they put on hold. Jesus delivered and he Prayer bells from heaven ring home. Prayer bells from heaven, how sweetly they ring, bearing their message unto Jesus our King. And we are burdened with troubles and cares. Hang on and on, for God will answer your prayer. Paul and Silas both were thrown in jail. They did not worry to go their hell. But on the prayer bell began to ring. All fell the stock they began to sing. Prayer bells from heaven, oh how sweetly they ring, bearing their message unto Jesus our King. Glory, we are burdened with trouble and care. Bring it on, God will answer your prayer. Yes, bring on and on, God will answer your prayer.
That was James Vickers there, little prayer bells from heaven. Hopefully you enjoy. Keep the gospel music going here. This is one Crossroads Bluegrass did for many, many years. And Mac Wiseman and Charlie Whirler Country Gentlemen were two of the main groups that would do this song as well. And hopefully you enjoy our version of a song called Using My Bible for a Roadmap.
I'm using my Bible for a roadmap, and the man must tell me what to do. That's 12 disciples on my roadside, and Jesus said to lead us safely. There'll be no detour in heaven, and no rough road along the way. I'm using my Bible for a map. My last stop is heaven, some sweet day. I'm using my Bible for a map. The children of Israel used it too. They crossed the Red Sea of destruction, and Jesus there to lead them safely through. There'll be no detour in heaven, and no rough roads along the way. I'm using my Bible for a map. My last stop is heaven, some sweet day. There'll be no detour in heaven, and no rough roads along the way. I'm using my Bible for a map. My last stop is heaven, some sweet day. My last stop is heaven, some sweet day.
Using my Bible for a roadmap. Hope you enjoyed our version of that song. This very next song, I know a lot of folks do it, and I think I originally heard the Osmond Brothers do this song, but I put this on the set especially for a friend of mine. Those of you guys who follow bluegrass in Florida know of a band that was around here for a good chunk of years, and that's Scattered Grass. And Mo and Spider, the twins, and their cousin Sean Campbell on the banjo. And those of you guys who don't know, Sean was fighting for his life not only a couple days ago, folks. Double pneumonia, and he's a small business owner, and he caught he caught the virus from some folks at work, and literally fighting for his life on his deathbed, and he's recovered, folks, and he's gotten to leave the hospital by God's grace. And this is a song that he used to do in the band. So I want to do this in dedication to him. A song called Big Spy Cameras. Mr. Sean Campbell, hope you're doing out there. I hope you're doing great, brother. This is for you.
Can't you hear the rhythm of my big spy camera? Noise bust in my soul. Done all I can do, be better. What's just not said. Hey, hey, tell me, why did you treat me this way? Hey, hey, tell me, why do you keep Sunday? I'm fast hammer swing and it's big section. Big Sean Campbell is my name. This hammer that'll swing another hammer down. It's on my holiday. Hey, hey, holiday. Why do you treat me this way? Hey, hey, tell me, I'll get it someday. Well, I've been lots of places, ain't much I ain't done. Still but I like to see. Oh, this other that I swing, and the woman that I love is gonna be the death. Hey, hey, Delavay, why do you treat me this way? Hey, hey, Delavay, I'll get it someday. Makes my hand, makes my hand. I guess after you, Sean, hope you're feeling better, brother, and hope you recover and get to picking, and we'll go watch some Dolphin games or something together. And so let's go up to the key of B flat. We got to go to B flat.
B flat.
Thank you very much. Again, this is the very first ever South Florida Bluegrass Association virtual festival. They've been doing festivals at parks for nearly 50 years, folks, and this is the very first time we've ever done a virtual online festival. We're Justin Mason and Blue Knight. We're streaming live, southfloridabluegrass.org. We're also streaming live on our YouTube page. Those of you folks who can follow that, Justin Mason and Blue Knight, you can search that on YouTube, and our page will show up. We hope to do a lot more videos and stuff for you in the very near future until we can get back on the road. And even then, we probably do some other videos then, folks. We got a handful more songs we're going to do for you here. This is, as far as traditional bluegrass songs go, this is off the Rounder 0040, I believe it is, or 44 record. I forget the number itself, but yeah. Anyway, James going to do this song called The Old Home Place.
Thank you. What have you done in your home place? Why did they tear it down? And why did I leave a plow in the field and look for a job in town? Well, the girl went off with somebody else, and the terrorist took all my head. Now here I sit alone, so they took me away. And the keys myself for the cold gets home, as I stand here and shake my head. I lost my home, I lost my love, and now I wish that I was dead. What have you done with your home place? Why did they tear it down? And why did I leave a plow in the field and look for a job in town?
James Vickers there.
Oh, I got a call.
You should get your little hat, your little umbrella.
Yeah,
shield
it's
thing.
getting particles all over here. I have to put my mask on.
Real quick, folks, I want to introduce all these fine gentlemen you see on this picture with me. Like I said, about a year ago, a little over a year ago, I decided I was playing in a few different bands, and I decided I wanted to spend some time not only playing songs that I had written, but songs that I'm really passionate about and in a style that I wanted to do it. And it sounds really selfish when I say it that way, but anyway, I had a lot of friends and that were willing to go on the journey with me. And this gentleman on my left, on the right of the picture, is one of the very first folks that said he'd be willing to pick and sing. And he's playing bass tonight and doing an amazing job. He also plays guitar, mandolin, banjo, about everything. He's got a brand new wife, a brand new baby boy, brand new life in general, pretty much, man.
Yeah.
You're really killing it, brother. Mr. James Vickers here on the bass. Hopefully you catch some of his music. He's playing in so many great bands, Florida Connection, Bridge Burners, just, again, multi-instrumentalist, great musician, singer, great dude, man. Great dude. I'll give you that, thanks for that $5,
That's right.
Yeah. I'm playing the mandolin, one third of the famous Canada Brother family. Does a great job playing mandolin, singing, does harmony parts, lead parts. He's also a super sound technician and runs festivals and does just about everything, folks. And even runs a sound at his own church. So he does a great job, and he's a good buddy of mine. We started playing together a couple years back at a jam, and
3 or 4.
he hasn't been able to get rid of me yet, folks.
Yeah.
Anyway, again, 1/3 of the famous Cannon Brothers family, Mr. Clarence Canada there on the mandolin.
Big focus.
On the banjo, the guy who needs no introduction because he's usually introducing himself to the floor, introducing himself to the back of a police car.
Yeah.
He's pretty good at introducing himself to
Yeah.
things.
I introduced myself to my lower deck out there yesterday.
He introduced himself to divorce court a few times.
Yeah.
So, he's another guy that plays all the different instruments, sings all the different vocal parts. Another one of the third of the famous Canada Brother family. Great guy, picker, singer.
I think I'm more than a third. I'm a fifth.
You're a fifth? Yeah. That's less than a third. You know that, right?
I failed math, so I
Anyway, Mr. Lester Canada there on the banjo.
Thank you very much.
We're going to do it.
Do I get to introduce you?
Go ahead, man. Go
Hey,
ahead.
this here's my big brother.
Big, much big.
I call him my other brother. And we hit it off one time. Really, I think the first time I was down in Okeechobee at Utah Junction.
Yeah.
And we was having a good time. I just jumped right in there and started playing with him. which I'm not ashamed sometimes, just
Feel
jump right on in. And he let me play. So I said, well,
He didn't have
So
his miracle in.
yeah, we introduced each other and found out his name was Justin Mason.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful singer, songwriter, wonderful friend, and also another brother,
Thank you, man.
Mr. Justin Mason.
Appreciate it. How about we go up to B, boy? What key we got listening down there? Love Like a Flower. Key of B, okay with key of B? How about we crank this? We're going to do a classic, Your Love's Like a Flower, but we're going to burn her up right here.
All right. The classic one that I know.
Yeah, the one you know.
Okay. Okay, yeah. All right, here we go.
It was long, long ago in moonlight. We were sitting on the banks of the stream when you whispered so sweetly, I love you. And the waters murmured too. Oh, they tell me your love's like flowers in the springtime blossoms so fair, and the morning withers waiting, and they say that's the way of your love. I remember the night you called in, we were talking days gone by, and you told me you'd always love me, and me your love never died. Oh, they tell me your love's like flowers in the springtime that blossoms so fair, and the morning withers waiting, and they tell me that's the way of your love. In the spring when you whispered these words to you, flowers were blooming so fair. Now we're so false meadows, I can see your love is not there. Oh, they tell me your love's like flowers, the springtime that blossoms so fair. The morning withers waiting, and they tell me that's the way of your love. And they tell me that's the way of your love.
All right, folks, real quick, I got to read the messages that sit there. Okay, cool. Make sure it wasn't nobody saying we were too loud or nothing like that.
We did stop.
Yeah, stop. Get out of the way.
Yeah.
Again, if you'd like to leave a tip, again, we appreciate it. We're trying to get some band T-shirts going and a few other things. You got one of the T-shirts on under that T-shirt. I won't let you strip. We got in trouble with that last
I don't
time.
How
mind.
come he got one?
He made them. That's how he got
Oh,
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Bought
And
and
again,
paid for.
bought and paid for, right. If you feel like giving a tip, and you don't have to, again, it's paypal.me/JMABN. And we appreciate folks coming on here, the first ever South Florida Bluegrass Association live stream. We're really excited to be a part of it. We're really excited to be the first test band on this whole thing. And I know there's going to be a bunch of great music coming on after us. So please hang out. This next, we're only going to do 2 more songs and then get on out of your way. Again, we really appreciate you turning in. This next song is a gospel tune that I love story songs, and this is one of the kind of premier stories from the Bible, and I think it's a pretty cool band. I got to see at Randy Wood's shop. Randy Wood is a world famous bluegrass instrument maker and repair man, and he has a cool shop up in Georgia, and I got to go there and play, and he'd have a little I'm guessing he still does it when everybody's allowed out of the house. They have a jam every Saturday, and I've gotten to see some amazing bands in his little studio. I got to see Mountain Heart when they were in their prime there, which was great, and I got to see a band called Blue Ridge. And those of you guys who don't remember who Blue Ridge is, Mr. Junior Sisk at the time was the lead singer and guitar player, and one of the greatest mandolin players, I think the best one in the world, and that's not putting down any other mandolin player. There's some amazing mandolin players, but I really like Mr. Alan Bybee, and they sang in the band together, and Jason Moore was on bass, and it was just a great band. And they did this song, and we're going to do a little 4-part harmony for you, a song called 10 Plays.
voice is sent to Pharaoh, and what you say is true. Tell your God to show his face, and he is here with you. He said one by one, the last one took his son. Pharaoh then told Moses, I'll set your people free. Tell the God Almighty that these things will be. Well, Moses told his people, it's time to leave this land. Gather your wife and children, travel across the sea. He said one by one, the last one took his son. Well, when they reached the waters, some cried in disbelief. Moses told them to hurry, God was hard to see. Pharaoh's men did follow, ready to cut them down. And the God, the walls gave way, Pharaoh's army drowned. He said one by one, the last one to his son.
Go ahead.
10 plagues cast on Pharaoh.
He said one by one,
10 plagues cast on Pharaoh.
the last one took his son. We practiced that ending, folks, I promise. Anyway, thank you so much for being on our live stream. We're Justin Mason and Blue Knight. Hopefully you enjoyed at least some of the songs, or maybe hopefully more than just some of the songs. Again, there's going to be more great music. South Florida Bluegrass Association.org or southfloridabluegrass.org. They'll be streaming for the next couple hours. Hopefully you enjoy some of the music that's going on there. We're Justin Mason and Blue Knight. You can find us on Facebook. We put a bunch of videos and posts and things up there. On this YouTube page, you can come to it and you'll see a bunch of our videos, all the different configurations and a bunch of different shows that we played. Again, we're hopefully very soon, once this stuff is lifted, to be out there and playing again. We got the Crazy Cup planned in June. We have hopefully in September, we're going to be playing for the very first time Twin Oaks Park in Hoboken, Georgia for the Twin Oaks Bluegrass Festival. That's September 11th and 12th. So 10th, 11th, and 12th. We're hoping to be playing there. And so you can come out and hang out with us. On behalf of James, Clarence, Lester, and myself, thank you so much. We're going to leave you with a song we end a lot of our sets with. It's an original tune. We spent a lot of time over the last year traveling up and down roads and up and down highways, and sometimes it's just good to be gone. A song called Faster and Faster.
I'm going faster and faster down the highway, going further and further down the line. I don't care where I'm going, gotta get that girl off my mind. But she called the Lord for the last time, and don't let her hurt me no more. Don't keep these mornings rolling, I can't live like this anymore. I'm going faster and faster down the highway, going further and further down the line. I don't care where I'm going, gotta get that girl off my mind. Turn together, folks, and dance with me. Mr. James Vickers here on the bass. Well, I threw my map out the window. I don't need to be the highway signs. Going where this smoke take me, and I'll leave you with for a ride. Going faster, faster than the highway, going further and further down the line. I don't care where I'm going, gotta get that girl off my mind. Well, I live myself on Georgia, somehow halfway apart. Keep these four wheels rolling, and I'll leave anyone else ever ride. Going faster, faster down the highway, going further and further down the line. I don't care where I'm going, gotta get that girl off my mind. I don't care where I'm going, gotta get that girl off my mind. Thank you on behalf again, James, Clarence, Lester, myself. We're Justin Mason and Blue Knight. Hopefully we see you again soon. Please stay tuned. More great music is coming up. SouthFloridaBluegrass.org. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. You can find us on social media, and hopefully you can find us at a festival down the road. Thank you so much.
Bye.
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 So long.